You never think twice about the little things in life until they come back to haunt you. For me, it was a children's show called The Crimson Smile. I'd forgotten all about it until last month, when I stumbled across an old VHS tape while cleaning out my parents' attic. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back to the early 2000s. I was about 8 years old, living in a small, forgettable town in the Midwest. We didn't have cable, just a grainy TV with a set of rabbit ear antennas. On weekends, when the regular channels played nothing but infomercials, I'd flip through the local access stations looking for something to watch. That's when I found The Crimson Smile. It was a low-budget kids show that aired on a channel I'd never seen before. The production was shoddy at best, fuzzy picture, tinny audio, but something about it kept me watching. The show was hosted by a character called Smiley Jack, a clown with a bright red suit, wild orange hair, and a painted-on crimson grin that stretched far too wide. Jack had this voice, high-pitched and overly cheerful, like someone trying way too hard to sound kid-friendly. He'd start every episode by saying, "Hey, kiddos, ready to see my crimson smile?" Then he'd laugh, a distorted, shrill cackle that made my skin crawl even as a kid. Each episode had a strange, nonsensical theme. One was about a magic playground where Jack played hide-and-seek with invisible friends. Another was about building a special secret fort using cardboard boxes and red paint. He always encouraged the audience to join in, telling us to draw pictures, write letters, or even send him something red for his collection. There was no studio audience, no other characters, just Jack in a dimly lit room with a curtain of red velvet as a backdrop. At the time, I thought the whole thing was weird but harmless. My parents never knew about the show. They were always busy working or running errands on weekends, and I never thought to tell them. One day, Jack announced a special contest. He told the viewers to send in their best crimson smile, whatever that meant. The prize, he said, was a chance to visit his super-secret playhouse. I didn't participate. I couldn't even draw a smile without it looking lopsided. But I remember him reading the names of winners on the next episode. The names stuck with me. Tommy, Megan, Tyler. All kids around my age. Then, one weekend, the show stopped airing. I didn't think much of it. Local access stations came and went all the time. Life moved on, and so did I. Until last month, when I found that VHS tape. The label was handwritten, "Crimson Smile, do not watch." I don't know who wrote it or how it ended up in my parents' attic. Curiosity got the better of me, and I dug out an old VCR to play it. The tape started with static, then cut to Jack. It was the same as I remembered. Red suit, orange hair, painted grin. But something about him looked off. His smile was crooked, his eyes wide and unblinking. He greeted the camera like always, but his voice sounded slower, deeper. "Hey, kiddos. Ready to see my crimson smile?" The next segment was one I didn't remember. Jack was sitting at a table covered in what looked like arts and crafts supplies, glue, scissors, construction paper. But there were other things too. A hammer, a saw, a small pair of pliers. "Today we're making something extra special," Jack said. His voice cracked, and for a moment, it sounded like he was struggling to hold back laughter. Or maybe something worse. He picked up a blank piece of paper and started drawing a smile, his hand shaking as he pressed the crayon down hard enough to tear the paper. Then the camera cut to a close-up of Jack's face. His grin seemed to stretch impossibly wide, the corners of his mouth twitching like he was barely able to contain some horrible secret. "Let me show you where the real magic happens," he whispered, leaning so close to the camera that his face filled the screen. The video abruptly cut to what looked like home video footage. The camera was shaky, the lighting dim. It showed a small, cluttered basement, walls lined with shelves, boxes scattered on the floor. The camera panned over to reveal a row of children sitting on a bench. Their faces were blank, their eyes vacant. None of them moved. I recognized two of them immediately, Tommy and Megan, the contest winners from the show. The camera lingered on them for a moment, then swung around to reveal Jack standing in the center of the room. Only, he wasn't wearing a costume anymore. The orange hair was real, matted, and greasy. His painted-on grin had been replaced by something far more horrifying. His lips stretched back, exposing raw red gums and too many teeth. The tape ended there, cutting back to static. I've spent the last few weeks trying to figure out where the tape came from. I even tried looking up the names of the kids I remembered from the show. What I found chilled me to the core. News articles from 2003 about a series of child disappearances in my town. Tommy, Megan, Tyler. They were all on the list. I don't know what possessed me to dig deeper, but last night I found an email address scrawled on the inside of the VHS case, crimsonsmile@gmail.com. Against my better judgment, I sent a message. "Who are you?" I got a reply within minutes. It was just one sentence. "Ready to see my crimson smile?" This morning I woke up to a package on my doorstep. Inside was a single Polaroid photo of me taken through my bedroom window. I haven't slept since, and I don't think I ever will again.